Welcome back to the channel, guys. Real quick, guys. 20. Ooh, I hate when this happens. 20. I see that. Sometime it go up, sometime it won't. 2014 or 13 Chrysler 300. Y'all see that? Dreaded check engine light. Never mind the tire light. Unless, in fact, yes, never mind the tire light, simply because I can see it's low on this wheel. I love these clusters that will display the information for you, okay? But we're interested in this check engine light. Now, they've been to another shop, and the shop told them oil pump. I think it's got some kind of oil code, oil pump code, or oil pressure code. Guys, the real major difference is this is a dual stage oil pump equipped. By the way, this is a V6 Pentastar engine, I want to say. And I want to say that simply because, let me go in park first. If I do this, yes, it doesn't feel like a Hemi. That was the other option available for a 2014 Chrysler 300. Either the V6 engine or the V8. The V6 version was a 3.6 Pentastar engine. The V8 version was, in some cases, a 5.7 Hemi. This is not a Hemi. All right, now, on this particular Pentastar engine, the oil pump uses what we call a dual stage oil pump, meaning it works in stages, guys, depending on the level of the RPM and various inputs, things like that, such as idle. Right now, I'm idling. Wouldn't you think car makers would like to increase oil pressure right about now? Out in the general automotive world, long idle time is bad. Okay, yes, mechanics hate that. Mechanics teach that, preach that, and talk about that all the time. Do not just sit in your car with the AC on, letting it idle for a long period of time. Now, a little short period of time, cool, but a long period of time, the thinking goes the oil pump can't keep pressure build up long and high enough to lubricate the engine. Remember, guys, we need oil pressure for lubrication purposes. So a lot of people seem to think that's what's killing the Hemi lifters. That's what's killing the Pentastar rocker arms. Okay, the Pentastar not having lifter issues. Okay, not the little hydraulic lifters. They having rocker arm issues. Rocker arms are breaking. The roller needle bearings and the roller bearings and things like that are coming apart, and it's ruining the valve train system. Okay, some people are blaming that on long idle time. Does it play a role in it? Yes, it's very much possible. Okay, I have a different take on it, and if you follow the channel, you likely know my take on why that's happening. Okay, fatal flaw? No, none of that foolishness. All right, none of that foolishness. Okay, but my point is, guys, when you get these kind of codes, it becomes a choice between should you replace the oil sending unit, or the oil pump, or the oil filter adapter housing, which house a brand new sensor. Some guys go even far enough to where they will replace the oil filter adapter housing wiring harness, okay, depending on the codes. And guys, let's face it, it depends on the diagnosis, okay? You really should diagnose this stuff. Don't just look at a code and, okay, let me guess at which one it is. No, follow the diagnostic tree. In fact, I'm talking too much. We finna go over to a computer right now and go through some of this stuff. All right, stay tuned, man. Let's get it. All right, guys, here we go. Now, as you can see, this PCM is yellow. That indicates a fault code in this module. Let's go look at this. Let's go under DTC, and what we will find is, yes, P06DA. Wow, never seen that one before. And P0522. That stands for engine oil pressure sensor switch A low. Okay, this is stored. And P06DA, engine oil pressure control circuit. This one's not even mature yet. It is actually pending. So let's go on this bottom one. See, this right here pertains to the sensor itself, not so much of the oil pump. Okay, I've done enough to where I can pretty much tell whatever fault code I see, that's what part is getting, because I've already pre-diagnosed these and I go off of past experience. Let's click here and see what this diagnostic entails. Okay, All right, we can see the circuit is pretty simple, guys. It can be a little complex if you're not familiar with this setup. Okay, what is this? PDC, how's the fuse? The fuse feed goes to the TIPM. The TIPM goes to the PCM, and from there, you got various sensors down here. But let's go see what the diagnostic. Well, first let's look at possible causes. It could be the 5-volt supply circuit open or shorted. Engine oil pressure, sensor signal circuit shorted to ground, sensor signal circuit shorted, ground circuit, engine oil pressure sensor itself, or it could be a PCM. All right, so according to this code, it's either the pressure sensor or the wiring. All right, this is why a lot of guys will replace the sensor and the wiring harness. They only doing that to kill these options, kill the problem being these options. And you're already going to get this anyway, just based off the code. What are the chances of your problem being a PCM? It's likely slim to none. So, not none, but it's slim. So that's why a lot of people will get the sensor in these three. And some guys will go as far as to just replace the off-field adapter housing because it's going to leak anyway. All right, what do they want you to do? First thing, read the diagnostic guide with the scan tool, DIC, and mode, record and repair. For future reference, scan it. Turn ignition off for 10 minutes. For a minute of 10 seconds. Turn ignition on using the monitor set condition. Record, operate the vehicle. Okay, they're trying to see if the DTC return. All right, if it returns, you need to go to step 2. If it doesn't return, they saying it's just a intermittent fluke glitch problem. All right, it's an intermittent problem. So if it did return, yes, that's when you go to 2, check for other DTCs. There were none. Actually, there was. Okay, so this may be on to some guys. They really might want you to check for other DTCs. Refer to recorded DTCs. Are they in? So they basically saying go diagnose these other DTCs before you diagnose this. Is that what I'm getting from this? Are there any 5-volt reference? No, there wasn't any. All right. Go to step 3. Check the EOC sensor connector and terminal. Okay, you have to check the terminal and sensor harness for proper connection. If the connection is secure, disconnect the EOP sensor harness and check for any push-out pin. In other words, really look at that connector. Were any issues found with the connector pin? If the answer was yes, you fix it. If the answer was no, go to step 4. Check the F85 5-volt. We just said there was no 5-volt codes. So I guess they want you to check it anyway. Disconnect the ELP, measure the voltage at the connector. If you're getting at the 5-volt pin on the connector, is the voltage between 5.9 and 5.1? If the answer is yes, go to step 5. If the answer is no, find out why. Could be a fuse or anything like that. Okay, on 5, disconnect the PC. Now they want you to measure connectivity between the PCM and the sensor and the connector to the sensor. All right, is there a continuity? If your answer is yes, in other words, if your contact between the PCM and the sensor is there, it's simple, guys. Just repair the sensor for a short to ground. Okay, no, repair for short to ground. If you get a ground, if it's shorted to ground, if your ohm meter, it says check for continuity between ground. Okay, they're trying to see if ground is in the pin of the connector. If it is, you got to find out why. It shouldn't be there. All right. Now, if the answer is no, go to step 6. Check for EOP sensor, pressure gauge, pressure sensor circuit shorted to sensor single circuit. Check for continuity between EOP sensor and K900. So there shouldn't be no continuity from ground to the power pin. That's for sure. If the answer is yes, repair it. If the answer is no, go to step 7. Check the ability of the PCM to detect the EOP sensor signal. So it's all about continuity testing. It's all about contacts between the PCM and the TCM. Guys, so basically, in a nutshell, we're going to do the in a nutshell thing. They want you to make sure which one is my sensor or temperature. Right here. They want to make sure this pin and this pin, good connection. Okay, there's no high resistance or anything like that. And be careful, it looks like there's a connector right here. If point A to point B is intact, load tested, however y'all test it, I tend to do a load test. Continuity can be misleading, and there's you got a signal right here. You may just need a sensor. This is the sensor itself. Okay, in fact, that is the most inexpensive thing you can try. I would definitely put a sensor on if you're faced with P0522. Okay, that's not nothing, that doesn't relate to an oil pump. Now, there are codes that will lead you to an oil pump, but this is not one of them. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, if you see P0522, replace your oil pressure, engine oil, what do they call that? EOS, engine oil temperature, EOT, engine oil temperature sensor, guys. Okay, that's exactly what I do. Like I say, it's inexpensive, but a lot of guys go above and beyond. They'll do the whole adapter housing to cut out any risk. So it's up to you and the customer's finances, of course, dictate which one you do. All right, guys, that's all I have. This video is too long, but I want to make sure y'all got something out of it. That's what I'm going to write up, because I have these are stored, but there's a problem. The computer saw a problem. I'm thinking this will fix this engine oil pressure control circuit. The oil pressure switch may fix this. So if you having doubts, or if you're not sure, just communicate with the customer, guys. Just explain to them, and especially something like this, because you can potentially save them money. I want to think that they were willing to gamble with it. Ma'am, we need to replace your oil pressure switch, and then we're going to recheck it. If there's no other problems, we're done. Okay, if there are, we're going to come back and let you know. All right, so it's all about communication. Customers will be happy if they are communicated with. All right, and let them know, because guys, whether you like it or not, all of this is a gamble. I've been known to follow diagnostic trees to the T and still be wrong. Okay, some of this stuff is just unexplainable, but for the most part, a lot of it will lead you in the right direction. That's all I have, guys. Thanks for watching.